So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. All right, let's play a little Carolina Panthers trivia. Tell me what person has interviewed the most Carolina Panther players one-on-one that doesn't work for the organization? Yeah, it's me. I'm Chris Jenkins. I'm with Charlotte. All right, there we go. We made it. We made it. So probably saw like the video had the loop there for an extra second, and then the timer wasn't on there. So let me get my introduction done. Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I apologize so much for being late. I've been saying, hey, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna schedule these videos so that people that want to watch, that want to join in, can easily join in instead of me just doing it and you having to not knowing that it's coming. And so I scheduled the video today, and I didn't make it. I was late. I'm gonna tell you why I was late. Ms. Jenkins.
Are you gonna blame it at me?
I'm gonna blame it. Yes. So come here, Miss Jenkins. You're too tall. You're too tall. They can't see you. So this lady right here, she don't know where to look. Cause see, I tell you guys all the time, this is a really complicated little room. There's a monitor here, a monitor there, a monitor there, a light there, a TV there, a mic here, camera there, etc. So she doesn't. Why are you hiding behind me?
Because it's your show.
No, but you gotta show your face.
Hi.
Hey, so this is the reason that I was late, and I apologize. But she went and got some really, really good Chinese food, and then we talking about marriage and how happy we are. And I was like, "What time is it?" She's like, "I don't know." Why are you hiding still?
I'm not hiding.
Camera's right there.
Oh.
But anyway, you know, when you're late, you gotta try to make up for it. So I just wanted to bring the beautiful wife
Bye.
to say that's why I was late. She was brought some great Chinese food and had me all kinds of distracted. So nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead and get into this football coverage. Chris Johnson, always appreciate you. How are you doing? Every time, first person to sign on. Chris, I'm sorry for being late. If you missed the apologies, just rewind it a little bit and you will see what happened. So let me go ahead and get into it. So today, Wednesday, October the 8th, not even Wednesday, it's Thursday. Thursday, October the 8th, and I'm going to give you the latest injury report from the Carolina Panthers. Give me just a second while I bring this up. How's everybody doing this lovely Thursday? So normally I have some graphics and everything, but because I was running late and honestly forgot about the show time, I don't have the graphics for you. I'm just going to have to read it to you. Eli Apple, he went from, told you to finish eating, I'm sorry. Eli Apple, he went from a limited participant in practice to did not practice. Coach Rule said it was one hamstring and now it's the other hamstring, and he can't really get mad at Eli. I mean, injuries are injuries. He would get mad at a guy that's not working hard, that's not trying to come in and do what he needs to do to get back on the field. But Eli is doing everything that he needs to do, and it's just, just gotta wait for him to be ready. Dante Jackson, who was limited in practice yesterday, was a full participant today. Chris Manhertz was limited in practice, and everybody else was a full participant in practice. So that injury list, that injury list is looking pretty slim for today, and that is something that I like to see. What is the restaurant name? Honestly, it wasn't like it was the best Chinese ever, but literally I'm gonna blame it on having a beautiful wife, newlyweds, and having dinner, great conversations. But I like to be transparent with you guys. You know me and my style of reporting. I don't like to say, hey, I'm Chris Jenkins for some big network, and I'm like, no, I like to relate to people and be human and bring players onto the show and let them be human to you as well. It was just a place called, I don't even know, but we live in North Charlotte, so it's near Huntersville, is where it was. She went and got it, to be honest with you, because I was working trying to get ready for the show. How's it looking at enemy territory injury-wise with the Ugly Birds? I'm assuming the translation that you're asking me there is the latest injury report for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't have the most recent one. I know Julio Jones and Jalen Hawkins, strong safety, they were not practicing on Wednesday. Hadn't got the very, very latest, but those were the big ones. Julio Jones and Jalen Hawkins did not practice yesterday. And again, I'm sorry, I don't have for you today's injury report on the Falcons. Getting into some things today, got a chance to talk to several players and, of course, Coach Matt Rule. Matt Rule, I already mentioned, talked about Eli and his injury. The thing that I told you guys that I was going to look into was about the breakout of Robbie Anderson and what's been the catalyst for that breakout. And I'm hopefully going to be able to talk with Robbie one-on-one soon, but right now, with COVID, we can't get into the locker rooms and I can't put in that request just yet. So what I have been doing is asking about what's important, what leads to the big success for quarterbacks and wide receivers. Is it the wide receiver running a route and getting open? Is it the chemistry? Is it the play calling? And so I presented that question to Coach Matt Rule today. And he said that he feels that chemistry is a lot of it. And then I asked him to define that chemistry because I feel like we all can have different definitions of what that chemistry is. So he said, for the most part, that chemistry is the timing that the quarterback will have with the wide receiver, knowing when he's coming out of his cut, knowing when he's going to be looking for the ball, knowing exactly how he runs his routes to be able to get him the ball at that time that he's needing to get that. And that comes with reps and working together. And it's not just when they get open. Rule was very specific in saying that it's just not when he's open. And I feel like what he was saying with that is, will lead me to say, okay, so play calling is a big part of it. Because if you're not my first read, if you're my third read, it doesn't matter if you're open. I got to go to my first read and my second read. The first read should be DJ Moore. Second read, Robbie Anderson. So, this is just my analysis of everything that's going on with Robbie Anderson having a breakout year. And again, I do want to emphasize, every time I talk about this, I want to say that DJ Moore is not being a slacker by any means. And quick pivot, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, appreciate you doing so. But I love to take questions from y'all. And so to do that, need to just hop on over to YouTube and then I can see your questions. And I'll stay here as long as there's questions coming in. So that's my promise to you guys as a media reporter covering your favorite team with the Carolina Panthers. So press that like button because it will help others find out about me and get to learn about this Carolina Panthers content. But that tells me that Robbie Anderson may be, getting open a little bit better than DJ, and DJ is not slacking. And I think that DJ doesn't have the same chemistry that Robbie may have because of the times that Robbie and Teddy worked together in the offseason. And I haven't cracked the egg on this completely, but I feel like they have a more personal relationship. And it's just, that's what's giving him that little edge and getting more targets, perhaps, than DJ Moore. But lastly, Coach Rule said they have to have trust. They have to have trust that when I throw you this ball, wherever I throw you this ball at, you're going to catch it. You're going to get it. You're going to make sure that the ball doesn't get intercepted. And yeah, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I talked to Teddy Bridgewater about the same thing. I posed the same question to him about what leads to the success between a quarterback and a wide receiver. And Teddy said, sometimes it's just a matter of who's hot, who's got the hot hand. He has to go through his progressions for each play, how they're supposed to be done. And as he goes through that, he's going to throw it to the guy that's open. But he did say that sometimes it's just a matter of getting who's hot. And he did mention that, there's certainly some things off the field that could lead to some improved chemistry, such as, reviewing film extra together and the meetings that they have and just other things that they do off the field. He said He didn't go into detail, and again, we're in COVID, so me talking to Teddy is in a Zoom meeting full of 30 something other reporters, but he didn't go into the detail of what those things off the field could be, but he just mentioned that there's a lot of stuff that we don't see that goes into it that contributes to that chemistry with him and the quarterback. I mean, him and the wide receiver. Yeah, enough on that. Justin Burris, we spoke with Justin Burris for a little bit today as well. He talked about the reason that the defense is improving each week is, something that I've been saying for a while and something you probably heard before, which is that they got more time. But he specifically said all levels on that defensive side are playing a role and coming together and excelling. And he said it's three phases. It starts with the front guys, the D-line up front. Then it goes to the guys in the middle doing their blocking and tackling and coverage as they need to. And then it finishes with the guys in the back, the safeties, strong safeties, and free safety that are covering deep. And right now what this team is doing a good job of is making sure that they don't get beat deep, making sure they don't get beat even, middle. And most of their passes that are being completed against this team are short passes. And they say that's something that they can live with and that they feel like they can still manage a game with and win. And they have been. They're now 2-2. But Justin did mention that the red zone defense still has to improve. And he feels like, from his perspective, it's just a mentality that they have to get better at. That, no, they're not just wanting to say, hey, come on, walk on down into the red zone. But certainly once a team is in the red zone, they need to have this mentality of like, not today, not my position. You're not, we got to take it up a notch, play a little bit harder, and get that mentality, and that should be something that he feels will help them in that red zone. Talked with Teddy Bridgewater, as I mentioned earlier, talking to him about the chemistry of what's needed for success between the quarterback and the running back. Goodness, quarterback and wide receiver. Shaquille, so you got another question. I'm definitely going to come back to that question before I get off of here. Did you know? Here's a did you know moment. Teddy Bridgewater also spends time in the offensive line's meeting room. And he does that just to continue to bounce ideas off of those guys. He says you could tell that they appreciate him coming into their meetings to take part and learn about what they're doing and spend time getting that extra chemistry. Yes, it does take extra time out of his day and his responsibilities of studying film and what he has to do with the quarterbacks. But he feels like that's something important. And when asked, hey, where did this idea come from? You were under Drew Brees for a year. We know you took that as an opportunity to learn. Was it something you picked up from Drew? He said, no, it's not. It's just something that just came to him and that he does and that he'll continue to do. And it also goes back to the story of when you know more about the guy that you're playing with and who you're playing for, it becomes who you're playing for, it still just creates another advantage, if you will, and playing hard every down, every play, and for one another, which leads to victory. So glad that this team is coming together like they are, doing the things they are doing to just take every little thing that you can to get an edge in this league. I mean, everybody needs to get just a little bit of an edge, and I think we're doing that. That will conclude today's October the 8th Carolina Panthers report. If you have any questions, do it now. I only got one. I'm going to get through that, but I'll continue to work through any other ones that may come before I get off here. And again, sorry for being late. Appreciate your patience. Shaquille, I'm curious, how are the Panthers approaching this game being favored for the first time this season? Now, unless the odds have changed, I know when things initially started, and I'm not a sports bookie, which just made me think the game's on. They were an underdog. So the question has been posed, like, is this a team that will use bulletin board material? Do they look at this as a rivalry? And Coach Rule has these guys very well under his culture. And they don't believe in bulletin board materials. They don't believe in rivalries or care about rivalries. It feels like that's something that fans see more of, because fans have been, you lived here. This is your team for probably because you live here, and you just know a lot of history. And players, they don't get that same feeling of, I've been a Panthers fan for 15 years, rivalry kind of thing. You know what he said? Each week, their goal is to go 1-0. And man, I wish I could get in that stadium and see all the 1-0 signs that Rule said that he has put around the stadium. But I feel like it's been effective because these guys, you can see it. It's been engraved in them, and they believe it, that it's 1-0. It's not a rivalry. It's not a revenge game. It's not bulletin board material. It's, I need to get 1-0 and do my job. So appreciate the question, Shakid. And I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. I don't see any further questions. Pre-game show this Sunday. Please make sure you subscribe, and most importantly, hit that bell notifications. Pre-game shows, I hope you guys are enjoying it. It takes a lot of work preparing for that, but I go over a lot of really cool facts and good things you need to know when watching the game. And then after the game, I'll go live and give you a recap, some statistics, as well as player and coach comments from interviews. So, Chris Jenkins for CharlotteVibe.com.